open weekend live, weekend open forum, whatever you want to put it. We'll have about 5 people in here. Almost forgot here. Mute the phone. That way you're not getting deaf if someone texts me or calls me. I hate that. You're listening in the truck, I was like, because someone has an annoying ringtone, right? And we've got, yeah, it's interesting. It says there's only one person here, but there's like three different people commenting. So I'll let some people get in here. We'll do our shout outs. Weekend live, and after this, we're going to work tomorrow. We're under a load now. That's the beauty of living in good old Springfield, Missouri. And man, we got a whole 5 hours to drive tomorrow, right? Anyways, so let's do some shout outs. Natas. Trucking with Kevin and Ollie, my brother. Bruno, Mike Mentor, what's up? Jason Perry, Provost Motorsports, yo. Stuart McCorkindale, Marty, hashtag KW, Jason Perry, I already said new Logic Neo is new. Pale Rider TV Trucking, John Armstrong, Shapes of Despair, Monotony Fields. Okay, I will, Natas. Who's the band? The releases I've been listening to, Natas, this week is October Tide, Unmerciful, and who's the other band? I can't remember the name now. It's Temple of Void or something like that. So like big huge mix there, right? But I appreciate that. I'll definitely check that out. I'm off today as well. Be home to spend the night tomorrow on Mother's Day with my bride. Awesome, Kevin. That is it. I'm gonna be home for Mother's Day just long enough to give my wife a kiss, pack some groceries, and get the heck out of Dodge. But I think Kevin likes living in Springfield because he's seen the advantages of living off of I-44 through the middle of a freight lane, right? So, Overtaxed Minnesota. Yeah, it's funny. Nates, I got a story for that. So, I bought Spotify Premium for the whole family, right? And so my wife, she'll put on like My Dying Bride, or she'll put on like, so November's, November's Doom, or something like that. And Catatonia comes up. She's not real big on Catatonia. She's like, I don't understand why they think I like Catatonia. It's got to be more than just similarities. And then to come find out, 2 of the members of Catatonia are in October Tide. And, so she put 2 and 2 together. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, dude, Spotify is the shiznit. My wife got one of them old school, like 130 gigabyte iPods, right? And I spent hours digitalizing my music and putting it on there. And now I don't even have to have that thing because of Spotify Premium. If there's an album I like, I buy it on vinyl and download it. For the computer, I've got a external hard drive full of all my music, and then I've gotten music from other friends too. So it's kind of neat. Even working as hard as I have, I can get home and spend the night weekly. So I would, so that's why I encourage Kevin to come to Springfield for sure. Chucky's in the house. Shapes of Despair is straight up funeral doom. Awesome, good deal. That window blind behind you has been messing kids. Eventually, we'll replace those. I think that might be a Christmas gift this year. Who knows? And But right now, my wife and daughter are on the other side. They're practicing for a job interview because my daughter has her first job interview coming up this week. So feel free for anybody to send me enough super chats to replace these plans. So, good evening, G Star. I'm Ed. We finally home timing, same date. Had a good week. You had a good week. Good deal, man. Adam, I hate to butcher your name, so we'll just call you Adam B. That's a real beer drinker. One beer for each hand. This is America, baby. Work. If not, wash your hands 3 times a day with alcohol from China, plus what's mixed. Both tanks use peroxide, similar to Fister drinker. I think I had one, two in the hand. I just don't want to be that guy that gets up in the middle of the live feed and go gets another beer. But congrats on your downer on the job interview. Thank you, Nate Tass. I appreciate that. Yeah, someone brought up this point. It's like, why do we got to sit 6 feet away from each other? Yet we're all touching the same keypad that we use our cards on, right? Oh man, it's crazy. We went and did some shopping for my mom again this week, so she doesn't have to hit the store because she's like 80 years old, and it's getting crazier. You know, it's funny. I picked up a load at a large beverage supplier yesterday, and you go in the cave and you check in on the phone at the surface, and then they give you a dock door. So you go to the cave, go in your dock door, and then you got to walk to the office. Now you can't have a bunch of people in the office. Now you got to wait your turn every 6 feet. So I had to wait outside of the lobby for I don't know, about 10 minutes yesterday, or yesterday, and I was wearing my All About Guns shirt, and this one chick, she kept looking at me weird, you know, the lady, female prime driver or whatever. Anyways, so I get in there, and meanwhile, while I was sitting there, when you're done, you get a green light, you walk all the way back, you sign your paperwork, make sure the seal's good, and then you drive over to an area where they seal you up. And this one dude, man, he was ticked. He comes in here and goes, I've been waiting 20 minutes. Why haven't you sealed my trailer yet? He's like, oh, sir, we're getting to you as quick as possible. They just got off lunch, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, you guys need to get your SHIT together, and stormed out. I'm like, yeah, that's really going to help. And they took his name down and told his company, which was the same beverage company, about him. So he was irritated, and I get it, but so you're saying OTJB needs to take notes on how to do a live while enjoying a beer. Sorrel has only 2 beers. Jane says 4. He says, Provost, what are large beverages? Beverages that are not small? Come on, Kevin. Basic stuff here. Grab a cup of coffee. Lids are stacked. The touch pull apart. Right. That's the other thing, HJ. You're not allowed to bring your own cup in. So you get to touch all the other cups that everybody else gets to touch. And, of course, the lids. Now, there's 2 ways you can grab a coffee lid. You can either grab 5 and then pull one apart, or they have the Love's has that fancy dispenser that pops out, right? And of course, you got to touch that, right? Unless you use a napkin like a pot holder and just, usually that hangs out more than one. So, it's like you're really not saving anything by having no refills, right? At least I know where my cup's been, and I'm the only one who's touched it. Whereas, some other jackwagon could have touched all the cups. If you guys ever pulled out a cup and 20 come out, you guys ever it's like those those pranks where the snake in the can jumps out. You ever had that happen? I've had that happen. It's very funny, amusing, and embarrassing at the same time. Oh, is Jeff in the house? I didn't see Jeff. Um, Food evening, sir, says Don. Yep. Then you have to touch other cups, right? So, I only have coffee for my truck. That's about where I am. I bought 2 extra bags of coffee. I can't find 1850 anymore. And I found, I've got, so buy a gallon of water instead, and just use it. So. And that saves money. Remember I did a video about that like last year about saving money by making your own coffee? But I would buy my own coffee to stay away from truck stops, right? Well, my goal this month or this week or whatever is to, I bought a bunch of canned stuff. It wasn't the best canned stuff, but I bought a bunch of canned stuff that if I was to stay out and I didn't want to go inside the truck stops, I could survive off of it. It's even keto friendly for the most part. But it's just not good for you, man. That chili that I bought, it's like 2 servings for a can, and each serving's like 48% of your sodium, and who knows what kind of chemicals there are with that stuff. But, and let me tell you something, guys. Here's the other thing. So you go into Walmart right now. I don't care what part of the country you're in. You go to any Walmart store, and you're going to see a very low, poorly stocked fresh meat section. And so my wife, she wanted me to cook dinner tonight. So I said, we haven't done a steak dinner in a while, so let's do that. And she's like, all right. So as we were coming back from the small town that her mom lives in, there's a small grocery store, and we went in there, and they had so much meat, they were having like a huge sale on it. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe we need to come back here next week and stock up the freezer, because it's interesting how Walmart's changed an image. Now, here's something else. I don't know if you guys have noticed with Walmart. Of course, you got the stores with the one way. You can only go down the aisle one way. Okay. That's number one. Number two, I noticed today that the aisles are more further apart, right? In other words, the store is like a little bit more empty, but instead of making it look empty, I think they've widened the aisles. And I don't know if they did that for social distancing or if they did that so the store looks fuller when it's actually not. But I do know that whoever's in charge of logistics at Walmart, there's something weird going on there. Because every other non-Walmart grocery store chain that I've been in, Aldi's included, no issues whatsoever. Pregnancy checks all the cows in the barn, does not change his gloves, but have 15 K-cups for the house. Score. Yeah, I don't use the K-cups though. You did start the 1850 revolution there, Provost. Walmart is part of our current issue nationally at the moment, taking advantage, trying to get people to spend more money during a time of crisis. I'll agree to that with you, Adam. There's a psychological aspect. Let's, put barely any meat out there. And granted, yeah, there are some meat plants that have shut down, and the president's trying to get them running again and that, but it's interesting to see that every other chain that I've been to has not had any issues with meat. Now, This is in Missouri. It could be different. I know Jeff has had trouble finding anything in Michigan, but of course Michigan's a blue state, and they've shut down a lot more than what Missouri's done. So, Bob G, what's up? Don't pay attention, and you will boil like a frog. Just do as you're told. Slow boiling frogs only jump out of hot water. Yep. I agree. I think I know what you're trying to say, HJ, and I agree. But yeah, those arrows on the floor of Walmart, yeah, whatever. I mean, hell, I watched several Walmart employees do the same thing. And, and we're living in a time where you're an a-hole if you wear a mask, and you're an a-hole if you don't wear a mask. So, what are you going to do, right? Let's see, John Lee, Publix and Winn-Dixie fully stocked at meat here in Florida. Good deal. We live in the more rural area of Michigan. I'm thankful we have a lot of local meat shops. We have a farm right up the road where I purchase our meat. Shauna, and that is easily done here in good old Missouri. So I just went into Walmart, $13 for 3 pounds of ground, 70/30, but $400 for a 65-inch TV. I know it's crazy, right, Adam? I have to admit, I've had zero issue with meat here in the middle of nowhere in Nevada, and I purposely go down the wrong way in aisles to go against the man. Attaboy, John. Good deal, man. Good deal. Tell Jeff to go to Meijer. Well, you tell him. I haven't talked to Jeff all week. He sends us like about 20 emails a day from all these different brokers. And I've made a lot of contacts. I'm having trouble finding a load where I'm going. But I'm hoping that these certain loads will pop up at the last minute. Meat processors are having problems getting people to come back to work because they're making more staying home. That is true over text. That is one of the other challenges. Yes, Meijer, no mask, no problems, fully stocked, love Meijer. Sean, I used to love the Meijer there in Huber Heights, Ohio, exit 38. I used to spend the night there all the time. If I didn't stop, because I constantly went to Pennsylvania and back, up and down 70. And if I didn't stop in Mandalia at Walmart, I stopped at that Meijer's there in Huber Heights, and usually would try to spend the night there because you can make that one shot. So I would try to get there, spend the night, and then get to Carlisle the next day, spend the night there, and then go on into Mechanicsburg. That was my run. My cow will be ready at the end of May. $1,200 for half a cow, expensive up front, but worth it for the year, right? Eddie, do you get it grain finished or do you get it grass finished? I'm curious about that. Ratman stopped in at Target in KC, and they had a sign that said, "Please don't touch the merchandise if you don't intend to buy it." Really, Ratman? Well, Target's a bunch of snowflake liberals anyways. Lazy people suck, man. I've never been in a Meijer. That must be east of I-35 kind of thing. Yeah, Meijer's is Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. And they're like Walmart, but better, a little bit more expensive. Pale Rider TV. Yeah, let's talk about Pale Rider. Grain finished. Let's talk about Pale Rider TV. What'd you guys think of that, his new format that he did last night? What'd you guys think of that? I think it's pretty rad, to be honest with you. And I think you should do it every week. Honestly, I don't know the difference. This is my first cow. Eddie, the first time I ever had grass finished beef, it tastes a little bit different, and it is amazing to me anyways. But Grain finished is more fattier. It has a different taste to it. It's kind of hard to explain. Love the format, says Ratman. Collect the check to do nothing, rise, and remember Tiananmen Square. I hear you, HJ. That's what you're talking about. Yep, so there you go, Pale Rider. There's all your positive feedback. Because I didn't see a whole lot of comments on that live, on the after the fact, after the video was rendered. So I was just curious of what people thought. Because I think it's good. I don't think any other YouTubers doing that. If they are, I haven't seen it. Well, I take it back. I think Red Monkey Trucker did something similar. I think he's using a similar program. But other than that, he hasn't even really done a whole lot that I've seen. Last thing I saw from him was that video where he helped that dude overcome him ODing, and then the guy ran out. I'm going to be honest. I like the old format. It was hard to follow everyone on screen. Like, I like the quietness and peacefulness and zen-ness of Pale Rider alone. We live on a dead-end street, and it's amazing how many people don't know how to read. What do you mean the street ends? That's weird. I'm trying a lot of things for the first time in a while. We were making a seafood boil in a Instant Pot for the first time tonight. I've heard about those Instant Pots. I thought about getting one, but between my Hot Logic Mini and my lunchbox cooker and my microwave, I do all right. I might do a giveaway, guys. There's 2 Road Pro things that I might give away. One is the skillet, and the other one is the roaster oven. I don't use them, so I've tried to use them once, but it blew my 12-volt fuse, and it's never come back. I've changed the fuse and it won't come back. So, a picture or something on Instagram or something on Facebook that he used his, but I don't know. We'll see. Communism, being told what to do, just sucks. They want everyone to work for $6 an hour. Don't blame the brokers. They're reaching for the sky. I am. Someone made a comment on my video I uploaded this morning about how... Oh, what was the comment? It made it sound like I didn't care that the broker was screwing the driver over, and that's not the truth at all. The truth is there are shady brokers. Yes, there are, and I think that our industry has a way to weed. Because think about this: if let's say you go to Walmart and say, okay, that load will cost you $1,000 to move, okay? And that broker keeps $800 and only gives $200 to the driver. That load only moves because of that 200. So now the brokers use these tricks. That's all I got in it. I've got another truck already. There are sales tactics that lie. I remember a friend of mine went to go sell cars. He thought it'd be great because he's a great salesperson, and he loved being able to do that kind of work. But there's one car dealership here in Springfield that hired him, and within 2 days he quit because of the amount of dishonesty that he had to do just to make a sale. And he quit industry wide you know, and there were a lot of shady things that went on, and that car dealership actually ended up getting sued, and the government told them that they had to rearrange a few things. So, you know, you got Sage Robinson that's in a lawsuit for something. I don't even know what it is. You know, so I mean, there are things that these brokers have been found on. Now, if we say to the Walmart, hey Walmart, did you know that you're paying $1,000 to move a load that the driver's only getting 200? Well, what's the first thing Walmart's going to say? It's like, why is the driver only taking 200 for it? Well, that's all they've been offered. Well, what am I going to do? You know, tell the broker that they have to give them at least X amount? Well, the broker's not going to want to deal with that. So I'm so tired of the conversation, because the basic economics is that there's no demand. Things suck right now, and there's really not much we can do that's going to help your situation right now. So, HJ, $20. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Cheers to you, sir. Give that lunchbox. I love the lunchbox cooker. By the way, guys, Junior Brown playing live on stage, 8 p.m. PST. If you know who Junior Brown is, great guitarist. Our governor is nuts, wants to buy a $6 million warehouse for all or both the dead bodies. His buddy owns the building. I don't know, man. It's, you know, there's nothing like a national crisis. I guess you could call this a world crisis to really bring out anything about all of it. You know, is it wrong for a broker to expect us to move a load at 80 cents a mile? They wouldn't even ask if they couldn't get it done. Support the local sheriff or elect a new one. Good news, school shootings are down. Missing parents have always been missing. My internet is terrible tonight. Not sure how far behind I am with the video. Overtax Minnesota's criminal. Gotta go check out the news. Gotta go check the news. I guess Little Richard died today too. So I didn't realize how old he was. So yeah, whatever you guys want to talk about, just, you know, it could be music, it could be trucking, it could be the same rehashed arguments that we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks. We can talk about my opinions on things, you know, and you know, and we'll Mr. Bill, love from New York, how's it going? Nothing Witty's in the house. I'm staying home, painting, fixing stuff to get ready to sell. I figured out that I need to be moving. You know, Jeff made a good point. I've reduced my costs to take that 30% cut that I'm seeing across the board. So, so we're moving and grooving, because sitting at home just, you know, it's wearing on my head. I love being home, but here's the thing, man. If I'm home too much, I get complacent and I don't want to leave. That's the problem. Once I'm out, I'm good, right? Once I'm out in the truck, I'm rolling, I'm good. But I could easily get used to waking up next to my wife every morning and having dinner with my family every night. I could easily get used to that. But I haven't really found a way to do that as an owner operator, because I don't want to be a company guy. Nothing wrong with being a company guy, but I just don't want to be in that position, because, you know, while everybody else got laid off or got their hours cut or miles cut or whatever, I'm still in control of everything. If I just want to go anywhere I want, I can slap on a couple of things on my trailer. I can even go out to California if I want. I could stay moving. And, that's the beauty of being a self-dispatch owner-operator. Jason Perry, if the government says how much profit a broker can make off load, what will stop the government from saying how much profit an owner-operator can make off load? I know, Jason. I have no issues with that. Let me rephrase that. I have no issues on what the broker makes as long as I'm getting my piece. Now, is that harder to say when I'm only seeing loads for 90 cents a mile? Yeah, but any broker who expects me to run for 90 cents a mile, they don't need my services anyways. Okay, so I agree, Jason. It's the same argument. The same people that are saying the government has overstepped the regulations on the ELD and the 70-hour rule and all that are now wanting them to pitch in and say you need to do this, this, and this. Now, transparency, it's already there to a certain extent, but only after you've done the load. But again, I go back to what I said before, and that's the thing. All us YouTubers are sitting like broken records over this stuff, but not one broker has ever asked me what my cost per mile is. Never. Only one got close to. He didn't ask me what my daily cost was. He just asked me why I asked for a certain rate, and I told him that was my daily rate. And he goes, "Why? How much does it cost?" He didn't do that. So, and different brokers have different costs. I mean, face it. There's more to the broker world than just the, calling TQL off the dashboard. There's more to it than that. There really is. And you got to understand the logistics, aspect of world freight movement. And you can't just regulate one aspect of it. Jonathan Shuttlesworth, YouTube at 11. Okay. But Jason, you're absolutely right. I don't want the government to tell me like, well, according to your P&L statement, your cost is $1.20 a mile, and you just asked that broker for $3 a mile. And that's the other thing, guys. Why is everybody fixated on the rate per mile? I mean, $3 a mile for 100 miles, it's only $300. If, let's say that's a 2-day period, which I've seen that. I've actually seen that. Then that rate per mile, minimum rate per mile, doesn't even work for that. Right? I mean, because I want more than $300 a day. So everybody's fixated on the rate per mile. Everybody's like talking about the $2 market, $3 mile market. No, there are variances. There's too many variances. You can't just do a standardized thing. You Schneider guys should know that. You Schneider guys should know that it's not the rate per mile for each load. It's at the end of the week. What I used to do at Schneider is I used to get a whiteboard, a little tiny whiteboard, and I would write down 3 different strings of loads that I could put together off the load board. And then I would do the miles and rate per mile at the end of the week, what I would have, or at the end of those set of loads. And I went with the one that made the most money with the least amount of miles. It's a big picture. This load might only pay 48 cents a mile to the truck. That load might pay, well, not 48 cents. That's a bad example. $1 a mile, for this load. But then when you add this load that pays $3 a mile, and you add it all together, now you're making 2, and all miles at the end of the week. So, it's all how you run a business, guys. I don't know why this is so hard to understand. I mean, I'm not saying I'm smart. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody. But I also know that everybody's arguing over the wrong crap. Over something that has affected the entire world. Not just our country, but the world. You know, we aren't the only one that's the government said, hey, you can't leave your house. You know, to me, that's a bigger, I'm thinking about that big picture. I could care less about, well, let me rephrase that. If I go out of business tomorrow, which I won't, but if I do, I'm more worried about what the next 6 months is going to bring, to be honest with you guys. In our society, in our government, and in our freedoms. I'm more worried about that than I am whether my business is going to survive this downturn or not. We're in a full-blown depression. This is going to take out a lot of good people. You know, suicides are going to go up, homicides are going to go up, drug addiction is going to go up, alcoholism is going to go up, and if you don't have, if you're not in the right place mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially, we're in for a tough ride. Trust me on that. You know, so all this back and forth bickering whether brokers are screwing us not, I don't care. If I don't want to deal with brokers, I know how to do that. You know, if I don't want to deal with the spot market, I know how to do that. And that's it. That's the basic. That's why a lot of this digital noise that's out there, I really don't, it doesn't faze me, because it really doesn't, because I'm worried about other things. I'm worried about what it's going to take for my family to survive this. I'm more worried, you know, and I'm pointing the finger at no one. If I go out of business tomorrow, I have only myself to blame. That's it. That's it. I'm not going to blame the brokers. I'm not going to blame it. I'm not even going to blame the illness. I'm not going to blame, you know, I'm only going to blame myself. But you know what? We're sitting okay. We are. Knock on wood for now. For now. So far. This is just crazy time right now for all of us, even us company drivers. Miles are down for us, our pay is down also, just like some have lost their job. Right. Look, guys, Jason Perry brings up a good point. If you have a job now, consider yourself lucky. You have to take in both miles and rate per mile. I think we all do that already. But Eddie, you'd be surprised. We don't. There's a lot of people that don't. And that's the biggest problem. I've done loads that paid literally to the truck $1.25 a mile, but still made X amount of dollars in a day. And at the end of the week, I still ended up with, you know, 4 or 5 grand. You know, Schneider loads are with all the dropping hooks. And so very rarely did I actually look at the rate per mile on the Schneider load board. I always looked at the revenue on the top of the screen, what it paid and what it took to get it done. And if I could drop 2 a day, I was silent. I remember one time Jeff called me, it was when we were both at Schneider. And actually, I might have still been at Landstar. And he did a load, he did 10 loads in a row of these loads that paid $100. But it was all done in one day. He literally shuttled some stuff from one house to another, like 10 miles. He made $1,000 that day. And, you know, and all he did was 100 miles. You know, there are plenty of stories at Schneider that happen. Now, is that hard to do in the spot market? Absolutely, especially when you only got one trailer. But, you know, what I'm also looking at is there are certain brokers that have certain loads that happen consistently week after week. But instead of doing 1 a day, they seem to have 5 a day. And then nothing for the rest of the week. So if a guy had some money and invested in trailers and could do some drop and hook stuff, a guy can make money doing that. And that's where the mega carriers have an advantage. So, you know, it's all on how you strategize. You know, okay, what have I been able to capitalize during this COVID thing? Well, I've been doing a lot of beverage, a lot of water, a lot of food items, and I've done nothing but deliveries at big box stores and places that really haven't seen a downturn on their business or haven't been affected by the shutdowns. And guess what? That's kept me busy. Now, did I take 2 weeks off? Absolutely. But I also use downtimes to get stuff done around the house, get stuff done medically, get stuff done. Normally in March we take a week vacation, and we didn't do that this year. So I took a week vacation in April when I knew that rates had hit rock bottom. It's all strategy. It's all it is. Now there were guys that kept running, like all the Spartan guys kept running. Well, they have a lock on some rates, and they were running for rates. And if I had the same lock, I probably would have ran too, more than likely. But I figured, hey, if I'm going to call 20 brokers and I'm only going to get 90 cents a mile, this would be a perfect week to get some stuff done around the house. Chase America, good evening. Overtax, I've thought about selling and getting a piece of land. Also, my kids are still in elementary, middle school. If you get land, Eddie, do it. We didn't go out and buy a new car. We didn't go out and buy, expensive stuff. We went out and bought land. We went out and bought a second house. That's what we did with our extra money. Freight rates will go up in the next month or so. I agree over text. I'm already starting to see some rates go up. Doesn't matter, does it? Hello, not a regular, but I pop up from time to time. I'm definitely more progressive than you folks. Consider it as more of a UBI base amount with option to negotiate further based off demand. There you go. There it is. Chuck's Life is in the house. Just a different way to approach it. Right. It's all about perception. It's all about perception. Talk about school. Yeah, the money is in the trailers. I know Jeff, I don't know how serious he is, but Jeff's been talking in his live feeds about looking at like these 8 trailers, that he has access to. Hi.
I finished the stand-up, so I'm gonna hang out with you.
All right. Guys, we have Mrs. Storlord here.
Boss is in the house.
Boss in the house. So, she is here. So, if you have any questions... Oh, come on. She's going to be in a magazine. She's worried about, people looking at her on YouTube. Everybody says hello. I'm sure you're reading the comments, right? So if you have any questions for her, like, how do you deal with that guy? And is he really that furry in real life? And how loud does he really snore? And all that kind of stuff.
Hi guys. Hey, it's Mrs. Chucky.
Mrs. Chucky, yep. Mrs. Chucky might be a neighbor. Who knows?
I hope so. Hello.
Jason Perry says hello.
Pale Rider. Oh, and Ratman. Hey.
Your chat must be more.
It's up there.
Okay. I'm glad he said hi to you. Oh, there he is. Ratman's one of the few privileged people I've actually met in my entire family.
That's true. Even Pale Rider hasn't met the kids.
No. No, my wife and kids came by for the Joplin truck show people. And that was it. But
Eddie had a question about right load.
Sorry, I didn't know if you mentioned about right load. I looked at right load up. What is right load? Because I've heard of that, but I don't know anything about it. I did look to see if they had an app. They didn't, so I didn't check out the website though. hello to the real boss, absolutely. I did find an Airbnb, just waiting for the board of directors to make a decision Friday, then booking our trip. Awesome, Shauna. Let me know when that is, and I'll arrange the time, make sure that I'm in town, and we'll all hang out.
Have them over for dinner.
Branson, or where'd you get it at? And that's the other thing, guys. I know a person that owns a resort, not in Branson general area of Table Rock Lake. It's about 45 minutes from here. And he'll make you a killer deal. He's a truck driver. In fact, he's one of the ones that was instrumental on me becoming a truck driver. And he and I go way back since the music scene. That's how we know each other in the beginning. So I'm on the wrong phone, but if I was on that phone, I could figure out Cedar Lodge Resorts. Look up Cedar Lodge in Missouri. I think that's it. Yeah, just Google Cedar Lodge, Missouri. See if that's it. I bet you it's there. Oh, maybe that's wrong. I might be getting the mixed up. No, you're on your other phone, so yeah, look at Facebook. And look up.
Oh, I don't have Facebook on here.
Oh,
I can find them on Messenger.
Okay. But anyways.
Keep chatting amongst yourselves with everybody while I find out this information.
Near Bolivar? Okay, that's not bad. That's not a bad area. Bolivar's, there's really not much scenery out there, but I mean it's kind of the gist of the Ozark. So, and that's a good centralized location because you're not too far from Ransom, you're not too far from Springfield, and you're not too far from. I mean it's smack dab right there on 13. So, I pick up a lot of freight in and out of Bolivar.
I have a ton of family in Bolivar.
Yeah.
Not that I ever see them, they're super distant family, but it's a good town.
Yeah, there's some really good property out that way too.
If we couldn't have found our spot in Long Grove, I probably would have pushed it out towards Bolivar.
Yeah.
That would have been plan B.
So. But you guys got any other questions, comments, concerns?
Don't log off of here until I get the right name of that resort.
I'm not logging off. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, well, you sounded like you were wrapping it up.
No, we're at 40 minutes. We still got another 20 minutes. If I follow my hour-long rule.
Right.
But no, it makes me wonder if someone else went live. Or bored them all.
Your numbers went down because I'm up here.
Why does my shipper not answer the door? Because they don't like you, Chucky. You're a truck driver. I hear this argument a lot that we as drivers deserve more. We deserve to be paid a lot more for what we do. Now, granted, I will agree with that, but there's a lot of aspects of trucking that it's just part of the game. And I know that there's a lot of truck drivers that make more than, say, a police officer. And for the most part, we're not getting shot at, or dealing with meth addicts. But every job has its ups and downs. And to me, I think it helps become the more you love to do a job, the better you'll be at it, Where's Reagan's in the house?
I told you, you should have brought Red Chicken out.
He's in the thumbnail, and he will be doing a video soon because he now has a mask. We'll just, made by this lovely person right here.
Question about the mortgage lenders. Gateway Mortgage, when we got our recent second house mortgage through. They were fantastic, I thought. Did you like them?
Yeah, look up Gateway.
They're
pretty
small group, so you get to work personally with like the branch manager and everyone I worked with in that office was fantastic and answered questions quickly and was very nice.
Yeah, they went above and beyond with some of the issues that we had with the house that we just purchased. There was some shady stuff that the seller was attempting, and they managed it well, and everything was super easy. I mean, we hadn't bought a house in close to 20 years, and and 90% of everything was done online through DocuSign, and I think I had to print out a couple of things in the truck, but it made it real easy. And the real estate agent was great too. But yeah, Mrs. Snorler does Chicken scrutinize things around the house like he does at the truck stops.
Usually Red Chicken stays in the truck. Today he was actually in the house. I'm not positive he's real well housebroken. It was the first time he'd been in the house. The mouth on that child, oh my gosh, like a sailor. Y'all have heard him, He did not tone it down for the wife and kids at all. He was not happy about getting that mask fitted either. I tried to tell him.
And he tormented the dog.
Stay safe. He tormented the dog. He did have some comments about my level of housekeeping and whatnot. And, the cake I was baking, there's no pleasing that chicken. I mean, he's cute and all, but man, what an attitude.
Rogue Hype HD, what's up? If you're remotely thinking of buying real estate, now is the time. Rates are crazy low and it's a buyer's market. Mrs. R and I bought 2 properties this morning. Look at that. Ratman making moves. And I agree. If you got the money and the capital and the sky buy. Worse than OSHA.
Cedar Hollow Resort.
Cedar Hollow Resort.
Resort at cedarhollow.com.
Yep, here's the website. Resort at cedarhollow.com is. There you go. There's a picture here. We'll just link. There's the information. You probably can't see that.
Backwards.
No, it'll
look right.
It'll look right.
Okay.
To the minions. But James and Lisa are good people.
That's
and
true.
we've known them for years. And basically, the guy was a truck driver, and then him and his girlfriend moved up to Montana. They flipped a couple of houses with the profit. They came back down to Missouri and opened a resort with their skills that they learned from flipping houses because they did all the work themselves. And now they got a resort and beautiful lake scenery there, nice and quiet. The closest thing I think is Branson as far as like the largest town, and just we're probably going to stay down there this summer. So. Barbecue the chicken, says Jason Perry. You never know. So is he like Snorler in a house broken yet? Absolutely not. Best description of red chicken ever. Other Trucker Jane's best. You're late. Timing will depend on if camp is go or not.
Hi, baby.
Yeah, I know a friend of mine that has he sends his kid to camp every year. You know, it's for handicapped kids. They canceled it this year, so. But there's a cat. That's a cat. Looks like Jeff's.
He's been out terrorizing the neighborhood.
Yeah, she gets into fights with the cat across the street.
All the neighbors hate her.
Well, not everything is well. My beautiful wife, I'm under load. Leave out with its onion rings for her Mother's Day dinner, and you know, we're sitting on the porch drinking beer. And we were at her parents' house today, and they have like 50 million bird feeders, and so with that many bird feeders, you have lots of variety of birds, and it was really cool to watch. I'm learning to appreciate birds for some reason. You know, probably because her and my daughter, they love the birds. So, James Best, I've yet to watch your call-in show you had last night. How'd that go, James Best? You gonna do it again? I think you need to get all fancy with StreamYard like Pale Rider. It was a good call-in, just really late. Well, good deal, man. Good deal. You know, me as a YouTuber, the only gimmick or thing that I do different, that's not even that different, is the chicken. That's about it. I guess I need to get back to doing some cooking videos. But I pretty much cook the same thing. I mean, it's how many times can you show me cooking broccoli? I really don't have a wide variety of what I eat anymore. I'm still eating keto for the most part, especially in the truck. But for the most part, if vegetables, lots of butter, I'm kind of in a rut with the creative keto food stuff. So, too much screaming from his callers. I was going to call in James Best, but I didn't want to get yelled at. Was James Best yelling at everybody? Do I need to call into his show and calm him down? Any yummy keto snacks or desserts? What I've been doing is, I'll tell you this. My wife made a keto-friendly calzone.
That was good.
That was really good. If I told you it was keto-friendly, you would be like, yeah, whatever.
That chocolate peanut butter ice cream.
Yeah, my wife made a chocolate peanut butter ice cream out of heavy whipping cream, and that was really good. And then, so yeah, there's some recipes out there. I know that Dr. Berg has started a new recipe channel that's actually got some really good looking stuff. And that's all they do, is him and his wife do these keto friendly recipes, and they're really interesting, and doable too. But for the most part, when I'm in the truck, I'll do the 000 Oikos yogurt with chocolate cocoa powder. It's unsweetened. It's just basically cocoa and and that kind of gives it a chocolate moussey feel. You don't call him James Sound, John? I try to make James laugh when I see him getting angry. I'll say something in the comments or something like that, and he'll laugh, and then it'll change his mood. I try to help the guy out. What was the calzone? Almond or coconut flour? What was it made with?
Riced cauliflower, eggs, mozzarella cheese, Parmesan cheese. That might be it. might have been like garlic powder and some like minor ingredients like that, maybe.
Yeah, there was no flour at all.
Yeah, no flour.
We use rice cauliflower. Rice cauliflower and Parmesan cheese is usually a decent base. A lot of the keto-friendly pizzas are made with that. Parmesan cheese you could burn on a pan, or not burn, but like cook on a non-stick pan, and you can use that as a wrap or whatever. And there's these things called egg thins that you can get in the egg section at Walmart, and they're basically like crepes. They're basically like that thin consistency. They're kind of pricey, but they work good for wraps. But the calzone wasn't made with any flour whatsoever. Woodchuck Trucking just got in feed. Why aren't you running? Why are you at home? I am under a load, Woodchuck, and it leaves out tomorrow. I picked it up yesterday and leaves out tomorrow. It's a 5-hour trip. I will deliver it Monday morning, and then I'll be out. How about a new YouTube channel, the Red Chicken Variety Hour? Tyson could be a sponsor. Looking at that's not a bad idea. It's so hard for me to stay away from bread and sugar. My blood glucose is through the roof now. Eddie, I feel your pain. I really do. It's about changing your mindset for the most part. And dude, I feel you. I really do. There are times when I do miss that stuff, but at the same time, I'll have a little cheat. Like I had a potato cake that she made. I cheated with some onion rings today.
It's a holiday practically.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So
you don't do that every week.
Yeah, I don't, and
I do.
and it's. I just found the videos that changed my mindset about it, and it's not really even about willpower. It's more or less just being awake. This bad food kind of makes us lethargic, and sometimes it's just easier just to give in. And I get it. I did a video on little cheats that I do for sweet cravings. The worst thing is the sugar. Yeah, absolutely. What does everything about Prime RST, and which would you work for, if any? Ryan Reed, I would go with Prime, because RST hauls Prime freight, so you're getting a cut of a cut of a cut. Whereas Prime, you're directly with the source. I know several people at Prime that work as drivers and also that work in the office, and they're very happy with what they're doing. Now, if you're the kind of guy that needs to be home every weekend, Prime's not going to be for you. As far as leasing a truck, I can't give an opinion on that, because my opinions of leasing are different than what most general public is. But for the most part, Prime takes good care of their equipment, and everybody I know has done well there. Shadow Wolf has been there for a long time, and Gary Compton was there at one time. But as far as RST, you're hauling Prime's freight. So, unless RST has some kind of better package for company drivers, I don't know if that's really a step or not. I was able to quit smoking after 30 years, but can't keep the keto thing going. I know it's hard, dude. Sugar is more addictive than what they're saying, cocaine and heroin. I took today off. I got to deliver Owens Corning tomorrow and grab Nestle Purine tomorrow for CNS delivery tomorrow. I hope tomorrow. Are tacos keto? It depends on how you make them, John. Oh, it's terrible. I've done Atkins before and lost a lot of weight and felt great, but it's not sustainable for me. And that's the key, Eddie, is you got to find something that you're willing to do every day. I really look at it as kind of lifestyle. And is it kind of a Debbie Downer sometimes at dinner time at the house? Yeah, but but gone and done the pizza buffets. I've gone and we've done the Mexican food, and I eat the chips. I've had my days where I'm not really worried about it.
And after a year and a half, your family adjusts.
Yeah, true. Like what I did was like this. I knew I was gonna be home Thursday. I knew I'd be home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or Saturday. So I went bought 3 pounds of hamburger, bought some rice cauliflower and rice broccoli, threw it all in a pan, and made basically all my meals for the last 3 days, and some eggs. And it's pretty much all I've eaten, except for the steak that I made tonight for dinner. Rice broccoli is great. You can make so many things with it. Absolutely overtaxed. And yes, tacos are way more healthier than meth. James G, good evening. JJ, the Trucker Channel, is working for Prime and is going to go over his numbers on a live feed next week. Right, and Ryan, Kevin and Ollie was there. Trucking along with Kiersey, Trucker Nene, I think they all work for Prime. Shadow Wolf.
I got
Lisa.
Little Feather?
Oh yeah, Lisa Littlefeather. She I don't think she's more on TikTok than YouTube. She's doing really well. She enjoys it, and I think she trained her daughter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Get some new blinds behind you. I know, you're like the 5th person that's talked about our blinds. That's what happens when we have kids and cats, Yes, the kids are teenagers, but what's the point? The cats are just going to go, we hate this. They keep us from seeing the birds.
Told to replace those blinds since we moved into this house, and we still haven't done it yet. Your opinion means nothing.
You didn't know Shadow worked for Prime, John? And there is a ton of, Ryan, there's a ton of YouTubers out there doing the Prime thing. There are trainers out there. Junior Honduras, I don't know if he's a YouTuber or not, but he's a big Prime guy, so there's a lot. But we're at an hour, so if you guys got nothing else, we're gonna end this evening. And
oh, poor John Armstrong. I feel your pain.
Poor John. John needs a CDL so he can get to work, right? Are you wanting to be a lease operator there, Ryan? Or you want to be a trainer? What are your goals? Do you need to get your CDL? I mean, what's your thing? If you need to get your CDL, right? Prime has got a good school. And you're training in the real world. Oh yeah, Route 66, baby. She's a flatbed over there. I've known her since our music scene, and she went to Prime. She's doing pretty good. She's on her 2nd trip. Oh, you've been driving for 24 years? Yeah, I mean, working for a mega carrier, there's a lot of rules and stuff, but I mean, out of all the mega carriers besides Schneider, I think Prime's one of the better ones. We got a long question here. When you first went into being an operator, what do you remember about the process getting started? Did Landstar provide the access to the information you would need, or talk to an accountant or something else? Doesn't matter. What I did was I talked to Landstar drivers, and the Landstar recruiter, to be honest with you, wasn't that helpful. I did not talk to an accountant. I just kind of winged it. Now, if I had to do it all over again, there are things that I would have done differently. But the guy that was actually the most helpful, in the actual like process of registering the truck and everything was the guy I bought the truck from. He did a lot of my Landstar paperwork for me because I was buying a truck at the same time, and I did know and talk to enough drivers that, you know, I don't know if you guys remember, if you follow Tex Crowley, the first guy he did his Life of a Trucker series, Ian Hanna, he was a Landstar driver that lived here in Missouri, like not too far from me. So I talked to him a lot. He told me what freight was in the area, and he told me what I needed to look for. And at the time, there was really no YouTube references like you have now. So I just kind of winged it, but also listened to some of the drivers that kind of helped me set up. And it wasn't until I did go with an accountant, but I wasn't really good about turning my paperwork and stuff like that. So it was kind of a waste of money the first year. Talked to enough business people that I set up my LLC. Knew that I didn't have to pay sales tax on the truck. And then that first month, I just learned and talked to as many people that I felt that were successful at Landstar as possible. Just watched Chad Rissa's last video. I guess he's retired. If my car caller company doesn't call me back, says Ryan, don't get mad at me. I'm just an obnoxious New Yorker. I'm not mad at you, Woodchuck. Hit the thumbs up. Or what's he talking about?
So the guy who made the comment about the blinds.
Oh.
You should see the rest of my house.
But you know, what I would have done differently, I would have talked to the accountant about exactly what I needed to put as an S corp or a C corp, whatever. And I would have gotten a different truck because the tires probably should have been better. And I bought the truck sight unseen, and that was probably not the smartest thing. And then I didn't get any kind of warranty other than what Arrow offered the first year, and it wasn't much, and it didn't cover hardly anything. Back then, their warranties didn't even cover half the treatment, which it was a 2009 with the Cummins, so it had the DPF, but didn't have the DEF. So, and that truck did okay the first year. It was the second year that truck really cost me a lot of money. So the second and a half year. So, but at the same time, I got it with only $2,000 down, and I was only $2,000 a month for 34 months. So when I traded it in, I only owed $5, and I got $15 for it. So I guarantee if I tried to trade this truck in, I'm only going to get $15 for it, and that's about what I owe. So. And I did avoid some, like Landstar, what they do is they call you and say, okay, which orientation center do you want? And I picked Indianapolis. And then I had them send everything to the orientation center, whereas some guys had all their stuff, their plate and everything sent to their house, and then when they showed up at the orientation center, they didn't have it. And I made sure that my drug test and everything else was done before I went down to Indianapolis, where some guys, there's one guy in our orientation that went down there, he hadn't done his drug test yet, and he was looking at another week without revenue. And that was the other thing. I would have had a month's worth of bills in the bank before I went to Landstar, because orientation was Monday through Wednesday, and you don't get paid for it. The only thing they pay for is 3 nights in the hotel. And then to get all the comp data cards processed and get your trailer and everything, I didn't book load for until the end of the week, and even then I got one load in for my first settlement, so I was already behind the 8 ball to get to my first truck payment, you know, which as a new owner operator, that was a big deal. So I would have done things a little bit different, but there were things that I was told by other drivers that kind of kept me from having a worst case scenario. So. My first truck was a T660 with a 490 cat. Love to hear that one. Love to have that one back. Just love that. 2009. Yeah, I mean, the worst thing about that Cummins was that the turbo blew. And because of some manifold bolts, there were other issues with that motor. So what should have been a $7,000 repair became a $11,000 repair. And I lost a week of revenue. Now Schneider was really good. I was under a load. That's the thing. I was 40 miles from delivering a load in Illinois, and it blew the turbo, and I had to pay the $400 to repower that load. And on top of that, I lost the revenue from the load. It was a good paying load. It was coming out of Ohio. And I got cut. You know, it's one of those things I count my blessings because it blew on an area where I had a shoulder, and then I had enough power to get the truck to the Gary yard to drop the trailer. And so I didn't have to pay for a tow. I had to pay for a tow truck to follow me just in case I broke down again. But I was able to get the truck to Gary, and he just followed me. So it only cost me $200. And then I made it to St. Springfield, but I was glad I didn't, because I know if you follow the YouTuber S-Cargo, he blew his turbo there in Miami, and it was a $20,000 repair because I think he tried to limp it when he shouldn't have. And I wasn't under a load. I was bobtailing, so I thought I could make it, but I didn't want to chance it, or else I would have. And the other thing I would have done different, I would have taken it to a Cummins shop and not a dealership. So
Sean's got a solid plan.
I'm definitely in the winging it stage. I have a couple of accountants' numbers, emails kind of stalled at the moment, current world and all. Initially intend to try lease on to my current company. See what the future holds, because I know the Landstar load board, if you're wanting to go to Landstar, the load count is down. And the spot market rates are affecting them as well. I know that there are a few agents that have good accounts there, but those loads don't hit the load board. So the best opportunity that I saw at Landstar was to do specialized, whether it be specialized van, flatbed, heavy haul, stuff like that. That's where the real money is at Landstar. Hauling generic dry man freight, you can do better with an 80-20 company like trucking. But like, if I had to do it all over again, I would have gotten into the logistics game over at Landstar and would have bought a trailer where I had ramps and toolboxes and blankets and all that. And I would have established my customer base that way, and then gone on my own, kind of like Life is Good. What he did, that's exactly what he did. Even when he got his own authority, he was still doing a lot of that show, or that, that type of freight for Landstar. He was just getting more of the cut. So, Woodchuck says turbos and Freightliners last, or Detroit's. No replacement for displacement. That's a good thing about Cascadia, no matter what anyone says. I've never been that guy that like, oh, Kenworth is better than this, or Peterbilt. I've driven every single truck except the Mack and the Western Star. I haven't driven those two. I only drove a Cascadia for a brief period. It was a day cab, and it was only because it was a rental, because I had to deliver a load while my Kenworth was in the shop. I've driven Cummins, Cat, PACCAR, of course, and Mobile, and they all have their positives, and they all have their negatives. They pretty much all have the same business manipulation model, and basically it comes down to who's got the most warranty and what fits your business for you. Now, if I was teaming, or if I had this lovely lady with me on the road, I would definitely get the truck that Provost has. if I wanted to lease trucks, if I wanted to buy trucks and lease them out, I would definitely probably go with the Freightliner. I also don't I don't have much experience with ProStars. The biggest negative aspect about ProStars is their resale value. You can't even give them things away. But if you get one with the best warranty ever. I know guys that get the 2-year, everything's covered warranty, and after 2 years they get into something else. It's all about the warranty. No matter what truck you buy, get the best absolute warranty they can get, and then save up the money like that big breakdown's going to happen, and you'll be fine. Oh, and keep your payments as low as possible. So the more money you can put down, the more you can negotiate, the better off you'll be. You could be I know guys that are in brand new trucks for 50. D, about time you joined us. Truck for Life. We have a 19 Globetrotter. Do you like it overtaxed? Like Volvo Mafia. If it gets you to A, B, it's all good, right? Cascadia puts 14.8 Detroit, and it works less than smaller engine and Volvo, PACCAR, etc. Yeah, I had a friend of mine that's pretty knowledgeable. He said for a solo guy, a Cascadia; for a team, a Volvo with the Volvo engine and the I-shift. I could definitely see that. Now, I like my Kenworth. I like the 680. I think that if I have a car other than you have to take it to the dealership, you can probably take it to the Cummins shop. And that's because of the software and stuff like that. But I do know the new Cummins, the after treatment's fairly decent. And that's the biggest factor. Most of the engines are running the same. It's the after treatment system. That's the one that makes or breaks the truck right now, and that's the one that will cost you the most money. The engine will last 1,000,000 miles, but it's the after treatment that you might have to replace a couple of times. I have a lot of learning to do still as far as tracking everything, dealing with taxes and such. I have reasonably good estimate of my expected cost, but I've never had to officially track myself. Be nice to do a small mega first so I can somewhat ease into it before I start dispatching myself. Yeah, know the industry. I mean, self-dispatch isn't as easy as people think. The more you know about the industry, the better that is to self-dispatch. Schneider is a great place to learn how to self-dispatch. And if you're computer savvy, I recommend Fogline software. That's what I use, and my P&L statements will track everything down to the tenth of a cent per mile. Now, it doesn't give you a prediction. It just tells you how you're doing at that moment. The disadvantage with Fogline is you have to open up the computer to do it, whereas Trucking Office, what Jeff promotes, you can do it on your phone or whatever mobile device, but that costs you by the month. So if you go to Fogline software, type in my code SA10, you'll get 10% off. But I endorse it because I use it. I love it. But I still have an account to help me with the tech stuff. And so far, knock on wood, the accountant's done right by me. So it's as long as you're doing something, whether even if it's just pen and paper, cost per mile, do a realistic mile. Do it at 2,000 miles a week on prediction. If you're going to do a cost per day, do 24 or 25 days a month. Don't do it for 30, because you're going to lose days with 34s. You're going to have a day off for repairs or maintenance. You cannot work a full 30 days for the whole year. So even if you work 30 days and then you take a week off and you do that throughout the year, well, guess what? How many days is that off? Well, now you got to average that by 12, and you're still looking at probably a 24 or 25 day month. And you can't burn yourself out either. So I don't recommend the cost pay 30 days a month. That's unrealistic, because kid could get sick. You could have a funeral to go to. You could be shut down for snow. You could lose a load and then sit a day trying to book something. I mean, you cannot work a full 30 days in a row. You could be out 30 days, but not every day is going to be a revenue day. So, I guess we're going to end this live feed. So, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out. At Snorlord on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up on the way out. I appreciate the chats. And I'll be back on the road tomorrow. And hopefully have a profitable week. If not, oh well, you know.
And call your mothers.
And call your mothers. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. I did actually use your code for Fogline. However, I'm Canadian. It doesn't work for me. So far, I've been using 21 days. Cheers. Thanks, man. Excellent. 21 days is good. Short haul, stay close to the house in case loads cancel. Long haul, pointless unless you love being behind the wheel. I agree with you, Woodchuck. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. And you know what? Peace. All right? See you.